Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential wildcard draft for Double Gameweek 28. Let's get into it. So, starting things off, in goal we do have Neto and Kaminsky. Now this is something that could very well be changed. You don't necessarily need both of them. I just prefer having Neto and a Bournemouth defender instead of just two actual Bournemouth defenders, just because Neto is like completely nailed and he's been like making at least 4 saves in like the last so many games. Like he's been really good and really solid for Bournemouth, and with that double coming up as well, he's just a really good goalkeeper to have. And after the blank, he's got some really nice fixtures as well, being Everton, Crystal Palace and Luton, so you can be playing him for a while. Obviously, he doesn't play in Game Week 29, but that's why you have Kaminsky for. You don't have to have Kaminsky, though. You could obviously have somebody else if you wanted to. It's just Forest at home is not the most terrible fixture. Like the other goalkeepers that are playing in blank Game Week 29, you have Areola, but he's got Villa at home. I think Villa will score. Obviously, you have Martinez, but he's got Villa away. You also he's got Villa at home. Sorry. You also have the Spurs goalkeeper, but they've got Fulham away. Like, there's just not many options. You could always go for Flecken as well from Burnley, from Brentford, should I say, who's got Burnley away. But I just think Kaminsky's probably got the best fixture on paper because it's a nice home fixture for them as well. But you could go someone else. You could also play, instead of Neto, you could get rid of him for like a Raya or even an Edison as well, because Raya's fixtures are like okay. Obviously can't play this week because they're playing Brentford, but after that he does have some nice fixtures. He's got City away, Luton at home, but then it's like, well, City away is obviously not a nice fixture, but he's got Luton at home, Brighton away, and then Villa at home, Wolves. Like, the fixtures are okay, but if I was going to go with like a goalkeeper that I just want to keep for the end of the season and you have a bit more money in the bank, I'd honestly just go for Edison, because yes, they've got Liverpool away, a blank, and then Arsenal at home, but then after that they've got Villa at home, Palace away, Luton at home. They've also got Forest away, Wolves at home, Fulham away, West Ham at home, and then Brighton away for a fixture to rearrange. So at the end of the day, Edison's just got a really nice run. It'd be much better on like a Game Week 31 wildcard, but again, you could always just make that transfer down the line. I just think Neto is like such a solid option for this double, and maybe you get rid of Kaminsky for a different kind of playing player that's like Areola or someone like that if you want to save a little bit of money. It's just I don't think Areola is going to be keeping a clean sheet against Villa at home. But again, you know, Luton may concede against Forest. It's completely up to you. But the goalkeeper combination's a bit hard to kind of like pick on a 28 wildcard draft. It's just not like the easiest. So it's completely up to you, really. It's whether you want to like attack the fixtures now that are right in front of you, or have a playing goalkeeper for 29, or like have a goalkeeper for like the rest of the season, because there's not that many game weeks left. You know, there's like 10 left, so you don't really want to be making too many goalkeeper transfers, really. I guess if you're playing your wildcard now, though, you're probably going to free hit in 34 and then probably bench boost in 37 if you have all your chips intact. So on the build up to 37, you kind of need to sort your goalkeepers out, but that's quite a while away, and you don't have to worry about 34 if you're free hitting, so you can just have all your transfers now be in kind of relation to that Game Week 37 bench boost, which I think is what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm not free hitting anyway. I'm just going to free hit in 34, I'm going to wildcard in 31, and then I'm going to bench boost in 37 regardless. So you know, it doesn't really apply to me in that sense, but because obviously all my players for 37 are going to be on like mainly on my 31 wildcard and stuff. But anyway, yeah, the goalkeepers are a little bit interesting, but yeah, Neto, Areola, Neto, Raya, well, probably not Neto, Raya, but like Raya, Kaminsky, somebody like that maybe. It's completely up to you. At the back, we've got Gabriel, Doherty, Reguilon, Udogi, and Zabami as well. So with the Senesi injury, again, we haven't had any updates on that, but because it's a hamstring injury, he's probably going to be out for like 4 to 8 weeks, I would say. So yeah, he's not going to be in the back. So whether that hurts the defensive line or not, it probably will. But with the fixtures that they have, it shouldn't be like too much of a problem. And the thing about the Bournemouth defenders are like, some are just not attacking at all, but they are going to be playing 90. Like Zabani just doesn't have any threat whatsoever, really. Like, against the Burnley, in the Burnley game, 0 expected goals and assists, 0 against City. I mean, City is fair enough because it's City. 0 and 0.01 against Newcastle, 0.05, 0.04 against Fulham. You know, like, the numbers are just so bad. Like, this is a player that doesn't get bonus points, he doesn't get attacking returns, he's just there for the clean sheets and the clean sheets only. But he is the most nailed defender. You know, centre-side would have been the best defender, but because of that injury, this player is the one that most people are going to be using now. There are different players as well that you can bring in that are a little bit more attacking, but their minutes are maybe a little bit more kind of up in the air. Whereas if you want a solid defender, then you go for this player here. We've also gone Udogie as well over Porro. Again, Udogie's been fine anyway. I don't think you necessarily need Porro. Udogie's actually been getting more returns than Porro in recently as well. Plus, he's back. You know, Porro is still flagged, whereas Udogie is fine. You know, he did play 90 minutes against Palace, so Udogie's definitely the safer option on a wildcard 100%, and he's a playing player in 29. I mean, I wouldn't probably play him this week. Like, this week I would play Doughty, Gabriel, and Zabami, just because there's 2 doublers there, and then Gabriel, and then you just bench Udogie and Reguilon for next week. But, yeah, Udogie, I think, is the best Spurs defender to have right now. Reguilon, another player that is going to be really, really good in Game Week 29, going to be really highly owned on free hit, and just a solid player on set pieces. You know, a lot of Brentford's goals come from like headers and set pieces and stuff like that, so Reguilon is just a really nice option there. They don't have the best fixtures coming up. You know, they've obviously got Arsenal this week, you wouldn't play him. Burnley's obviously good. Man United at home, and then Brighton, and then Villa. So he's a player that you'd probably get rid of relatively soon, and you're mainly just having him for Game Week 29. But hopefully he does something in Game Week 29, and that's enough to like warrant bringing him in. We then have Doughty as well, who's obviously got the double, Forest at home. And again, I don't think Luton are going to keep a clean sheet in this double. I think Bournemouth will definitely score against them. And I think Crystal Palace, now under the new manager, or the new management, are playing a lot better as well. And I think they score as well. So I don't see double Luton defense being a good idea at all. I just think that Doughty's on set pieces and has just been really, really good for Luton. So he's just also going to be like super highly owned as well. So if he does really, really well and you don't have him, it's just going to really hurt your rank. And then Gabriel as well, being the final final defender, should I say, being the Arsenal player. Brentford at home, then blanks, then City away. But again, you don't necessarily need to have him for 29 and 30, but again, I would just bench him for those fixtures because he's just such a good option to have. And then after that, Arsenal's fixtures get really, really good. Like, you definitely want him for Luton at home. Like, that's such a good fixture in 31, which is another reason why 31 wildcarding is so good, because you can just bring in 3 Arsenal players and then just not worry about it. But then, yeah, Luton at home. And then, I mean, he's just a set and forget, really. Like, he's just such a solid defender, playing for one of the best, if not the best defense in the league. He's just somebody that I could not go without for like the remainder of the season. Like, if I didn't have him like now, I wouldn't be bringing him in this week, obviously, if I didn't have him, because you need to be concentrating on doublers and players that are playing in 29 unless you're free hitting. But he is someone that I definitely would not want to go without. But anyway, that's the back line and the goalkeepers for Double Game Week 28. In midfield, we have Saka. Again, just cannot not have Saka in your team right now. Some people are thinking of getting rid of him this week. I just wouldn't do that. He's just too good of an option right now. I know the fixtures aren't fantastic, the fact that they've got a blank and then City away, but he's just such a solid player to have. I just could not go without him at all. We also have Maddison and Son as well on this draft. Again, 2 Spurs players. You kind of want to triple up on Spurs on a wild card because they've got Fulham in 29 and then they've got Luton at home in 30, and then they've got also Forest in 32 at home. So really, really nice fixtures. Again, you'll be offloading your Spurs players before they have like the fixtures of death, where they've got Newcastle away, City at home, Arsenal at home, and Liverpool away. I mean, they can literally just decide who wins the title with these fixtures coming up. They really can. They potentially may double in 34 though, which is also, I mean, if you're free hitting in 34, then you're fine. And I get, if you're wildcarding now, you don't need to free hit in 29 like at all. So you would just obviously free hit those Spurs players back into your team. But yeah, Maddison and Son mainly for the Game Week 29 and the nice fixtures coming up as well. I don't know if I'd play them both this week. Like, you'd be playing all your strikers, you'd be playing 3 defenders, so you'd have to play like a 3-4-3. So it's whether you double up on the Spurs, which I probably wouldn't. It would just give you a little bit of a benching headache. Because the other midfielders are Palmer, who's got Newcastle at home, who again I would not want to bench for that fixture. They've just lost Trippier. Trippier is not going to be available in 28. As well as that, he's on penalties. He's just a really nice option to have. Palmer's been really good all season. And then Bowen, who's got Burnley at home, you're not going to really want to bench him at all. He's then got Villa in 29. Newcastle away is not even a terrible fixture for him either. I think that would actually be quite a nice fixture for Bowen on the grand scheme of things. But either way, he's definitely a player I would have on my wildcard draft. So that's the midfield there. I do really, really like this midfield. It helps you for 29, and obviously has some alright fixtures this week as well. But you're mainly playing it for like 29, so you don't have to free hit, and you're getting in double as well and stuff like that. And then up top we have Watkins, who's got Spurs at home, Solanke, who's obviously the best captaincy shout this week, and I've also got Morris as well. So there is no Haaland on this draft. As you can see, we've got 11 mil in the bank, but that will obviously be used to bring in players like Haaland and Salah. Like, Salah's apparently back for game week 30, and so if that's the case, then obviously he's a player that you might want to bring in, and then Haaland as well. Like, these players you definitely want to be bringing back into your team, and having 11 mil in the bank is obviously beneficial for that. But yeah, if you did go for this sort of wild card, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 playing players before any free transfers. In game week 29, the best idea would just be to get rid of Solanke for Tony. That would be my transfer anyway. So I'd have 10 playing players. You could always take a hit to get 11 playing players if you really wanted to. I'm not sure who else you'd really bring in, maybe a West Ham defender. I mean, it's very much pointless because you already have Areola. And again, this is if you have Areola. You could have a different like keeper if you had Kaminsky or something like that. But you could bring in a Forest player if you really wanted to, like maybe a Hudson-Odoi or something, but it's probably not really worth it. You've got all the main players that you need. You know, on a free hit, this is pretty much what the team's going to look like, barring one player. But that extra player, like, it's just going to be nobody really. It might be like a Fulham player, it might be like a Castagna or something like that. But you've got your main players. You've got your triple Spurs. You've got your Reguilon and Tony, which everybody's going to want. You've got your Bowen, which everyone's going to want. You've got your Watkins as well. I mean, you could bring in like a Villa defender if you wanted to, but they're not great at keeping the ball out the back of the net. So yeah, that's what I would do on a game week, double game week 28 wild card really. And then you don't have to play free hit in 29. You settle pretty nice for 30. And then you just start kind of like ticking away your team, getting rid of your Luton players, getting rid of your Bournemouth players. You don't have to worry about 34 because you'd free hit then. If you don't have your free hit, then obviously that becomes a different kind of question. But then you just kind of like keep making your transfers until 37, bench boost, and then you kind of sorted. So yeah, not owning Haaland isn't like the worst thing either. Like, this is the one part of the season, apart from when he was injured, to not really own him. Like, he's got Liverpool away, a blank, and then he's got Arsenal at home. Like, is he gonna outscore Morris? Potentially, but you could always just bring him back in for Arsenal at home if you really wanted to, you know, in game week 30. It is completely up to you. But that's kind of the wildcard draft that I would think about making if I was going to play my wildcard this week. I'm not completely against doing it for me, because it is obviously a lot of high gains, like you're bringing in your Bournemouth and your Luton players and stuff, but I think 31's a bit more of an upside because a lot of people are going to be, it's kind of where the fixture swings change, you know, and a lot of people are going to be bringing in players that they really, really want. So yeah, that's just kind of like my thoughts on it. But if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, leave a comment. Are you thinking of wildcarding this week? Subscribe if you're brand new, or ring the notification bell. Also, I won't be uploading any videos now until next week because I'm away, so there won't be a final team selection or anything like that. So this will be the last video this week. So yeah, I won't be able to show what my team's going to look like on Friday because I'm not here, unfortunately. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, the next video will be like next Tuesday, which we go over like everything, like the team selection, how I did in 28 and everything like that. So I won't be able to let anyone know if I'm wildcarding or anything unless I like tweet it out or something. But anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're brand new, and until next time, peace.